This is Providence Television International, the game changer.
Welcome to the weekend news on Providence Television International. I am Ugbebo Ikekwa. The United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres on Friday announced the appointment of Ahunna Ezeakonwa of Nigeria as Special Advisor on Africa. She succeeds Christina Duarte, whom Guterres described as committed and dedicated in her service to the organization during her tenure. Ezeakonwa has 30 years experience in United Nations leadership and in her current role as UN Assistant Secretary General, Assistant Administrator and Director of the Regional Bureau for Africa at the United Nations Development Programme. She oversees the organization's support to 46 African countries in pursuing Agenda 2030 and the Sustainable Developmental Goals, as well as the Africa Union's Agenda 2063. Since 2018, she has helped shape UNDP's strategic approach to economic and political development across Africa. Ezeakonwa holds a master's degree in international affairs with a focus on African economic and political development from Columbia University, New York, USA, and a Bachelor of Arts in English and Literary Studies from the University of Benin, Nigeria. In addition to her native Igbo language, she speaks English, Yoruba, and French fluently. The Africa Democratic Congress, the ADC, has stated that Nigerians are interested in results after 3 years of President Bola Tinubu's administration and not fresh promises from the president. The party, while reacting to the president's June 12 address, stated that Tinubu's repeated assurances on economic recovery, security, and job creation amounts to an admission that the All Progressives Congress has failed to deliver on the promises that brought it to power in 2015. The opposition party, in a statement by its spokesman, Bolaji Abdullahi, noted that Democracy Day address should have been an opportunity for the president to showcase how his government has benefited Nigerians and not an opportunity for campaign promises. Human rights lawyer Femi Falana, musician and activist Falana, popularly known as Falls, and other prominent activists on June 12, 2026, led calls for the immediate release of abducted pupils and teachers in Oyo State. The activists used the Democracy Day protest to highlight worsening insecurity, economic hardship, and governance challenges across Nigeria. Addressing protesters in Lagos, Falana expressed deep concern over the plight of school children and teachers held captive by kidnappers, emphasizing that it is unacceptable as the victims presently endure severe hardship in captivity, lacking access to food, medical care, and other basic amenities. Beyond insecurity, Falana stressed that the protest was aimed at drawing attention to what he described as widespread injustice, police harassment of Nigerians, poverty, and hunger. Former Senate President Bukola Saraki has stated that the legislature that cannot say no to the executive ceases to function as a true parliament. Saraki noted that the routine approval of executive proposals without scrutiny reduces the National Assembly to a ceremonial body, warning that such weakness undermines Nigeria's democracy and national stability. He further emphasized that the National Assembly plays a central role in controlling public expenditure, noting that no government spending is valid without legislative approval. Saraki also stated that separation of powers ensures accountability, stressing that friction between the executive, legislature, and judiciary is essential to democratic stability. Senator Adams Oshomole has called on Senate President Godswill Akpabio to refrain from making public remarks that suggest senators lack adequate knowledge of the Senate standing rules or the Nigerian Constitution. Senator Oshomole emphasized that members of the Senate are fully aware of the constitutional and procedural framework guiding their legislative responsibilities. According to him, senators have consistently demonstrated their understanding of the rules by ensuring that parliamentary proceedings are conducted in accordance with established regulations. The House of Representatives on Thursday voted overwhelmingly in favor of a constitutional amendment bill seeking to establish state police across the country, marking a major step in efforts to address Nigeria's worsening security challenges. The bill secured the support of 289 of the 290 lawmakers in attendance, while only one member voted against it during plenary. The proposed legislation seeks to amend relevant provisions of the 1999 Constitution as amended to allow states establish and operate their own police services alongside the Nigeria Police Force. The bill has also scaled second reading in the Senate. Edo State government has directed schools that were temporarily shut over security concerns on Tuesday to resume academic activities on Monday after reviewing the security situation in collaboration with security agencies. The directive was contained in a circular issued by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, Mrs. Sotabe, on Thursday. The government stated that enhanced security measures had been implemented and additional safety mechanisms deployed across the affected communities and schools to guarantee the safety of teachers, students, and other school personnel. The Chief Executive Officer of Tesla, SpaceX, and owner of X, formerly known as Twitter, Elon Musk, on Friday, 12th January 2026, made history as the world's first trillionaire. He officially crossed the $1 trillion net worth mark after his company, SpaceX, was valued at $1.8 trillion combined with his holdings in Tesla and XAI. The visionary entrepreneurs' companies have revolutionized electric cars, space travel, artificial intelligence, and sustainable energy. And now to sports with results from the ongoing 2026 FIFA World Cup.
Yes, thank you very much. We'll try to recap. Mexico 2, South Africa 0. That was the opening match in Mexico. On Friday, Korea Republic 2, Czech Republic 1, Canada 1, Bosnia as the governor 1. That was the draw. Now, on Saturday, United States 4, Paraguay 1, off to a good start. That's talking about the United States. But a couple of matches more on Saturday, really. Qatar versus Switzerland, that will be 8 p.m. Nigerian time. And Brazil and Morocco, that will be a cracker at 11 p.m. on Saturday. We're expecting that Morocco should pull a draw in their match against Brazil. Now, on Sunday, Haiti versus Scotland. That's an easy one for Scotland, I guess. Australia versus Turkey. And Germany versus Curacao. That's an easy one for Germany. And, of course, on that Sunday still, Netherlands will be playing against Japan. That's a match that many people would like to watch. And on Monday, Ivory Coast, Nigeria's arch rival, will be playing against Ecuador. We're expecting that the African representatives will run over Ecuador from Latin America. Sweden versus Tunisia, that will be another tough one for the European side. Spain and Cape Verde. Spain should have an easy run over Cape Verde. Belgium versus Egypt, and Saudi Arabia versus Uruguay. The Uruguay team will be having an easy one against Saudi Arabia, I should think. So that's the lineup for this weekend. I hope you have a very wonderful time watching some of these matches. And that's our sports this Saturday.
And to the program, World Cup updates on Providence Television International. For sponsorship, please contact our corporate office at 42 Ibisawa Street, Benin City, or call +234 803351 1599 or +234 8100 710297. The United States trashed Paraguay 4-1 with a perfectly scripted opening performance in the ongoing World Cup fiesta. Folarin Balogun, who could have played for Nigeria or England, scored twice as pressure from the US team led to a Paraguay own goal from Damian Bobadilla. Substitute Gio Reyna of the US scored the fourth goal for the team in the second half. The US entered the tournament amid a swell of uncertainty after a series of defeats and unconvincing performances in the pre-World Cup friendlies. England's preparations for the 2026 FIFA World Cup has suffered an unexpected setback after some of the team's training equipment was stolen before their arrival in Kansas City. The incident occurred while equipment was being transported to England's training base. Vehicles carrying the gear were allegedly broken into. The English Football Association is currently assessing the extent of the loss, with training balls and boots among items feared stolen. The exchange rates. And on the exchange rates, 1 United States dollar, its equivalent in naira, is 1,376, 1 euro, 1,591, 1 British pound, 1,844. The Canadian dollar presently stands at 983 naira, while the Australian dollar stands at 969 naira. That's the weekend news on Providence Television International. Thanks for watching. Please stay tuned.